Hey everybody, this is the Bachelor Pad. Uh, found out some weird, like zany information earlier this week. I made up with a lady friend of mine that we were cool. Started hanging out. Everything was pretty chill. I've kind of changed my thought process from God. What was it? It's been a few months now where I was on an enormous hot streak, right? Here's one thing with Bachelor Pad theories and, going on an amazing hot streak, and if your goal is to infiltrate women and groups of them and hang out, have a lot of good time. A lot of good times. I really didn't rationalize it to a point that at the end of it, like, I never wanted to keep doing it forever. Like, this is my life's goal. I want to go out and I want to drink way too much and show up at home with a girl at 3 a.m, drink a little bit more, try and have sex at 5 a.m. Which I realized was part of the problem, because the group that I infiltrated and the girls that I was trying to hang out with, we were winding up back here having some drinks. They're a bunch of fun party people. And then I'm trying to perform at 5 o'clock in the morning when I wake up at like 7, workout, run my dogs, do a bunch of other stuff like a normal human being, right? And then try and have sticky time at 5 o'clock in the morning, which for me just wasn't working. I guess there was an end game that you factor the field out, right? You just kind of shotgun approach, boom, 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 and you take the field, and then you eventually get it down to 1 or 2 chicks that are cool. Maybe you want to spend more time with. This kind of happened. I made a subconscious decision. Maybe it was because I was way too tired, and staying out that late and running around and doing all this stuff was just, it was just asinine, right? I couldn't do it for a long period of time. I am an adult. And I factor it down to a couple, right? So I've got a couple, like 2 girl chick friends that I hang out with. And just a reminder, if you hear weird noise in the back, I'm doing everything from the red room. Put up a banner to make it less red, and my dogs will probably be making noise throughout this, which will drive me crazy. You probably won't even notice. So with the 2 of them, one of them's real cool, intellectual, have a good time. It's neat. Still time requirements, right? I'm much easier duped into a relationship if the person has a bunch of time, right? So I'd be wrestling with them or cuddling on the couch right now instead of talking to y'all. And then the other one, again, time requirements, but she's a cool, neat little package. Well, this young lady, one of her friends decided to get way too in my business. And we'd only been hanging out for maybe like a week or 2. We've known each other for a month or 2, but actually hanging out for like a week or 2. And her friend decides to get way, way too into my business. I guess from what I learned this evening, or the evening that I learned it, she grabbed her phone, texted me, right? Got into a car. Now, I don't know. Everyone says, oh, crazy. Good sex equates crazy. Now, mind you, I did have sex with the other girl, right? It was one-time thing, just random. It was at the very tail end of, woo, I'm having fun, drink too much, have sex with someone, kind of remember it. If the kind of remembrance was that was good and that was fun, awesome. If it was not so good and not so fun, I'm never going to call you again. This just happened to be a weird non-factor, and I just went, cool, awesome. Maybe if I'm in need and whatever, I want to hang out again and you're around, then cool, we'll hang out. But this girl takes great offense that I'm there, and she works something up in her mind that I was hanging out with somebody else that night. Put the girl that I've been hanging out with for a week or 2, who doesn't really seem to care. Right? Just, whatever. We haven't said anything. It's not like we're in a relationship or super dating. Gets her in the car and goes, we're going to go to his house. You know where he lives. And she went, no, he drove me. I don't drive, so he drove me. I don't remember exactly where it is. The other girl, the one who's like on some weird hunt for me or whatever, that I messed around with once, I've been to his house. I know where he lives. So goes on this wild goose chase to find my house, right? goes on a wild goose chase to find my house. Come to find out, they drove around. They actually, another guy that works at the bar, they went, hey, you know Jake, you know where he lives? And he went, no. Well, your brother does. Call your brother. And he was like, I'm not getting my brother involved in all this crap, right? So this whole thing goes around, and it's bizarre. It's becoming a thing, right? Like they're literally out driving around trying to find me and come to my house. Now, number one, I don't take it lightly when people show up to my house unannounced. Now, mind you, my buddy Travis had like 4 people over the house. We had our neighbors from behind us and some other people. So we had other people at the house, and there was another girl at the house with me. But it wasn't like, oh, let's go home and hang out and whatever. It was, she had nothing to do. We had just kind of met. She wanted to have drinks and hang out. And I said, well, there's people back at my house. So she came. They never ended up finding my house. Now, I did get secondary question from the girl, you know, that I'm hanging out with, and went, oh, so she's never been to your house? And I was like, no. Well, if she was, I was like, oh, well, why don't you tell her to call me, right? She doesn't even have my phone number. So somebody who doesn't have my phone number, can't find my house in the middle of the night, is still, to this day, saying, you know, oh, like, has some weird thing with me, when obviously I'm hanging out with her friend. But it's kind of weird. So it kind of flattering that I've got psychotic, crazy women driving around at like 3:30 in the morning trying to find my house. It would have been met with a very angry version of me if you showed up to my house. Probably wouldn't have been real cool. I probably would have acted a bit foolish or whatever. And I do have the number one attack dog breed in the planet who is very territorial of my house. And just a quick example. Scoop, who's here? There's nobody here, right? Nobody here. Keep an eye out. Make sure. Who is it? See? He's on guard like 24/7. All I got to do is ask him. Good boy. And now he'll go out there for another like 5 minutes until he's certain that nobody's here. So yeah, very, very, very weird. On another point, I don't know if anyone's ever had that scenario or whatever, but it's pretty bizarre. It was funny to have this to come to find out, like, things you don't know, that there was a posse. Like, I felt like I was in the Wild West. There's a posse riding around trying to find my house. And what were you gonna do when you got there? Slick, right? Just wave your finger at me and see if there was another girl here when I'm not really dating anyone. So yeah, I'm kind of factoring it down and trying to, for the love of everything. Wintertime's coming up. I really need to to funnel it in. And man, I'd really like a cool chick to hang out with. Good boy. Thank you, buddy. That's my boy. There you go. Drop some stuff on the floor. Good boy. You'd protect me if girls were coming to get me, wouldn't you? Well, you'd at least bark at them until they got in the house, and then you'd lick them. But well, today I had a weird. It started last night. I'm having a hard time working on my project vehicle and figuring out how to get my sunroof, moonroof. It's a classic car. Can't figure out anything. Really way behind schedule. So I sold my other vehicle, and I looked around and I found something that I'd like, and went on a weird hunt. Like, almost bought a vehicle today. And I realized that I'm a little bit crazy. Kind of, it's how I wound up with this dog when I have a perfectly good other dog who's just getting really old. Kind of the same thing. I went and almost bought a car today. I went and test drove it. I talked to the guy, did whatever, finagled price. I'm not 100% sure that I'm not going to actually purchase or get this vehicle tomorrow. So I don't know what sparked it, right? And this is where I try and pay attention to when I do weird things like this. Why am I doing it? What are my reasons? I don't do anything but drive 4.5 miles back and forth to work, but it is a convertible, which is neat. Never had a convertible. Always wanted a convertible. So maybe it's just like a culmination of weird things. The price is right. It's a convertible. It's fast. It's a Mustang. It's whatever. I mean, maybe. If I think about it, I can rationalize it. I just don't know why I went and did it. So I'm not 100% certain. I'm gonna leave the rest of my day and evening to see if I'm gonna go, grab the vehicle. So kind of weird. Don't know why I did it. We'll see, right? Maybe if you see poster or pictures on the Bachelor pad and whatever, and I'm over a point whether I think anyone else finds it cool. I like what I like. I really don't care if you like it, as long as it makes me happy, which makes me feel like I've hit some kind of like evolution in my own mind, right? That I really don't care what other people think. As long as it makes me happy, I go ahead and do it. Number one, I do that with women. I really don't care what anyone thinks about the young lady that I have chosen, right? Oh, she's too skinny, or oh, she's too young, or oh, she's too old, or oh man, she's a little bit thick. It really doesn't matter as long as it looks good, feels good, and whatever. To me, I'm kind of okay with it, which it's a very cool place to to be mentally. Although it's kind of stupid when you decide to go zip off and buy cars or do whatever, right? I hope I wouldn't have buyer's remorse like afterwards, like balls, kind of spent $2,000-3,000 for no apparent reason, and now oh crap, I should probably sell this car. Yeah, I really don't know. I really don't know where else to go with that. I'm kind of at a weird crossroads for what I'm just talking about the crazy stuff in with the racist, and then the little Quip It story. This one will probably never make it. Speaking of that, I'm just gonna stop.